everyone, Sarah here with Selena Studios. Today we're going to talk to you about active listening. Sounds easy, right? I mean, listening can't be that hard. Actually, listening and active listening are quite different. Active listening involves giving your full attention to the speaker, understanding them, and giving back verbal and nonverbal signals to show you are listening. Asking questions is also a great way to show a speaker that you are actively listening. Today, we will learn how to actively listen and discover to tell when others are actively listening. There are two types of listening, active and passive. You can demonstrate that you are actively listening by smiling, nodding your head, making eye contact with the speaker. Also, to show you are actively listening, wait for the speaker to finish before you start talking and summarize what the person said. On the other hand, passive listening happens when you listen to someone speak without giving them your full attention. This involves not looking at the speaker, becoming distracted, daydreaming, and talking while they are still talking. When you are actively listening to someone, it shows you care about what they are saying, and it helps to build the relationship. Take a moment to think and reflect on what you already know about active listening. When do you use active listening? When have you noticed others using it? Now, let's learn how to actively listen while someone is talking. For this exercise, I will be reading out a few scenarios, and I want you to put a thumbs up if the characters are demonstrating active listening, and put a thumbs down if they are not. Are you ready? Okay, let's go. Scenario 1. Adrian is talking to his friend David, but David is watching TV, not looking at Adrian, and not asking questions. Every now and then, David nods at Adrian, then immediately goes back to watching TV. Okay, now I want you to think about active listening and all the things you can do to show that you are actively listening. Did David actively listen to Adrian if he was also watching TV? Feel free to pause this video to think about it. If you said that this was not active listening, you are right. David is trying to watch TV, and Adrian does not have David's full attention. David is not actively listening. Scenario 2. Mia is in class but is looking out the window at children playing while the teacher is explaining an idea. Is Mia actively listening? Feel free to pause this video to think about it. If you said this was not active listening, you are correct. Mia is not listening to her teacher's explanation. Mia is not making eye contact, not asking questions, and not paying attention. Scenario 3. Olivia is sitting up in her seat, making eye contact with the teacher, asking questions, and smiling as her teacher explains a classroom activity. Is Olivia actively listening? Feel free to pause this video and think about it. If you said this was active listening, you are right. Olivia is paying attention to her teacher. She is sitting up, making eye contact, asking questions, and giving the teacher her full attention. Scenario 4. While Sophia shares her presentation with the class, her classmate Liam is tapping his pencil on his desk, drawing on his paper, and daydreaming. Is Liam actively listening? If you said this was not active listening, you are right. Liam isn't being respectful to Sophia by creating a distraction with his pencil and not paying attention to her presentation. Scenario 5. Nadia is talking about a recent family vacation to a lakeside campsite. Jill wants to know where exactly the campsite is so that she can go there someday. Jill waits until Nadia is done talking, then asks where the campsite is. Okay. Does Jill show that she is actively listening? If you said that this was active listening, you are absolutely right. Jill is being respectful to Nadia and listening to her story before asking questions. Scenario 6. Jose is describing his favorite movie. Elaine makes eye contact with Jose, nods while he speaks, and remains quiet. When he finishes speaking, Elaine replies that the movie sounds really cool, and she asks which part of the movie was Jose's favorite. If you said this was active listening, you were right on. Elaine is showing that she listened to Jose by remaining quiet, nodding, and asking a question about the movie. In all of the scenarios that showed active listening, what behaviors did they have in common? Each of them were respectful, they did not talk over the person who was speaking, and they nodded to show that they were paying attention. When you get the chance, you can practice noticing active listening and passive listening behaviors. I would like you to pick someone to actively listen to while you are having a conversation. Practice making eye contact, nod to show the speaker that you are listening, and wait until the person is done talking to ask a question. There is another way to practice active listening. The next time you are in a group, play Simon Says. See how long you can stay in the game by actively listening for the phrase Simon Says. Why do you think some people are better at that game than others? Some people are great at active listening, while others are not. Those that were standing longer probably listened more carefully to Simon. Remember, active listening means giving all of your attention to the speaker and letting them know that you are paying attention. Don't allow distractions to get in the way of listening. Thanks for listening actively today. This is Sarah signing off.